Brisa says in Parakinyan Torah, which was Pirkei Avos for yesterday, that Torah is nosenes lo malchus memshala. That learning Torah gives you royalty, control, kingship. I don't know. I'm not such a big observer of the world out there, but I haven't found that like politics and Talmud Chacham go together, right? Well, usually it's the opposite. People who are really Talmidei Chachamim want to stay away from politics as much as possible because it's a big waste of time and a big drain on your ruchnius if you're not very big, right? So I haven't found like Talmidei Chachamim tend to become in charge of places. The Gemara says you never live in a city that's run by a Talmud Chacham. So the Gemara says in Bava Basra because he's not paying attention to what's going on. He's busy learning, right? So what does the Brisa mean that Torah is nosenes lo malchus memshala? That Torah makes a person king. The Gemara even says in Masechah Shabbos, "Man malchei rabbanon." Who are the kings? The rabbanon. So now I have a Brisa, I have a Gemara that associate being a Talmud Chacham with royalty, with kingship. So what does that mean? Brisa also uses two terms. Brisa uses the term malchus and the term memshala. What's the difference? Every time Chazal use two words, you have to ask why are there two words? Why can't the Gemara just say one word, right? So you said is in Ibn Ezra actually in this week's parsha, Parshas Naso. Pasuk says about a Nazir. The Nazir is not allowed to become Tameh even to a close relative. Ki nezer elakav al rosho, because the crown of God is on his head. What's that? What crown is on a Nazir's head? There's no requirement for Nazir to wear a crown. What is the pasuk talking about? So Ibn Ezra says, "Da, you should know. Ki kol bnei adam avdei tavos ha'olam, that all people are slaves to the desires of this world. Va'melech ha'amiti, the real king, sheyesh lo nezer v'ateres malchus baroshu, who has a real crown on his head, kol mishu chafshi min ha'tavos, a person who's in control, he's free from his desires of this world. That's what it means to be a king." So Bali Musar say, the salient feature of a king is control. The king controls everything that goes on in his country, directly, or if he's intelligent, he'll delegate. But the king ultimately controls everything that goes on in this country. Right? Everyone's expected to follow through. The Torah basically prescribes the death penalty to Mord b'Malchus. The king has a prerogative to kill anybody who doesn't fall in line. The question is, well, what does the king want to accomplish with all of that power? He could do a lot of things. Ideally, the king, any leader, isn't simply reacting to circumstances. The leader has a picture, an a priori picture of what he wants to accomplish, what he wants his country to look like, and then you run the country according to whatever that picture is. That's a real melech. A person who's just reacting is not a melech, he's a slave. Right? He's a slave to whatever everyone else is doing, and then he just reacts accordingly. Right? He may have a lot of power, but he's not a king. For many a king in history, the picture has been conquest, power, glory, whatever it is, whatever silliness that the king wants. For a Torah king, hopefully that vision is it's not simply to create a better world the way Hashem wants the world to be. Right? That's the real picture, that a king is meant to be directing all the activities of the country. He wields all the levers of power. He can make anything happen in this country. So he's going to make it work out that we're heading towards the Sakin Olam B'Malchus Shakai. That's what a king is really supposed to do. Right? So in that sense, we can understand what Ibn Ezra is talking about. What's a person who's a melech? He's first melech over himself. In the same way a king has a picture of how he wants the country to run, and you run the country accordingly, a person has to have a picture of how he wants his life to run and act accordingly. Doesn't just react to the circumstances as they're given, as other people dictate his life to him. No, a person runs his own life, right? As much as HaKadosh Baruch Hu allows him to. He's not buffeted one way or another by public opinion, what other people think, or whatever conflict he happens to experience internally at the moment. No, I have a picture, what I want to accomplish, what I want to do, and you do that. For us, from Jews, that means the Torah's values. What's the picture we want life to look like? The one Hashem painted for us. Hashem's the Uman, He made the picture, we run our lives accordingly. Now, of course, the only way you could do that, sine qua non for that, is learning Torah. First of all, how are you supposed to know what you're supposed to do? How you're supposed to live your life? You don't learn. But it's more than that, right? The person who Torah gives a person the ability to control his life, right? The person who's a real Ben Chayrin is Misha Osik B'Talmud Torah, the person who learns. Because that person frees himself, as the Ibn Ezra says, Mitayvos Olam Hazeh. Most people are slaves to whatever they happen to want at that time, and it's very hard for them to break out of that. And Torah is what gives the person the ability to rule over his own life. Now, there are two ways a person can rule over his own life. He can rule over his own life because he knows what he's supposed to do, doesn't want to do it, but he knows ultimately that's what's better for him, so he does it anyway. Right? He forces himself. Okay? And probably in a lot of areas of life, at a lot of times in life, that's what we have to do. You got to do what's right, no matter whether you feel like it or not. That's true. That's a person who's a moshel. The Gra famously says there's a difference between a melech and a moshel. A moshel rules shelo b'askama sa'am. He imposes his will on people, and a melech rules b'askama sa'am. A melech rules with people's consent. Doesn't mean they want someone to be telling them what to do, but they buy into his vision. Right? A person can be a moshel on himself with Torah, or ideally, a person can be a melech on himself with the Torah. He can learn and internalize to the extent that the values of the Torah resonate with who he wants to be. And then he's living his life not just by forcing himself to live in line with the Torah, but he actually wants to live in line with the Torah. There's nothing better. There's nothing he could want more. That's the best. Who are the people who do that? Tamid Chachamim. Man Malchei Rabbanim. Who are the people who are really the Malachim on themselves, not the Moshelim on themselves? Everyone has to be a Moshe B'Yitzro, right? That's the Gemara Bava. Everyone has to be a Moshe B'Yitzro. Yeah, but a Talmid Chacham is a Melech. He's a king over himself, right? That's a real king. Everyone else is imitation king, right? Everything else is fake. As Volby writes, a person wants to live his entire life, puts his whole being in line with the values he wants to live with. That's a person also who's happy. That's a person who's b'simcha. That's a big person, right? You find that b'derech klal, the bigger Talmid Chacham the person is, the happier he is, because he's living the way he wants to, the way he knows he's supposed to, right? There's nothing that brings you more simcha than that. And as much as you have to force yourself to do what's right, okay, so that's every time you make a difficult decision, you force yourself to do the right thing, you experience dissonance. It's hard for you. But when you get to the point where these things come, they work together. They everything slides into place naturally. So then, what could be better? You're living in line with God's values. Nothing you could want more than that. The Rosh Yeshiva tells Riverdale's kind of Racha, Rav Ram Osband. So he once described chinuch like this. He was actually talking about girls' chinuch, which is very interesting. But I'll say it in Yiddish because it sounds better in Yiddish. Midarf lernen, midarf verna bardas, midarf verna balas madriga, midarf zayn grois. Right? Which in English means you have to learn, you have to be a bardas, you have to be a bal madriga, and you have to be big. Right? And we're talking about girls' chinuch, different story. Right? But the Bryson King and Torah concludes, the same one concludes, that Torah is megadalto umromamto akol hamaisim. Torah makes a person big. It's a really interesting Rashi in Psachim. Actually about Shavuos. The Gemara says that Rav Yossi told his wife, Avdili igla telsa, make a real delicacy for Shavuos. Why? Because he lav hayomer de kagarim kama yosef ika b'shukov. Now for that day, there are a lot of Joes in the marketplace. Right? What's that day? He would have asked me to say Pshat, I would have said Shavuos. We got the Torah, right? No, that's not what Rashi says. Rashi says, Ilav hayoma shelamaditi Torah, that I learned. V'nisro mamti, and I became elevated. Yeah, sounds like the Brisa, right? Gadaltom ramamto akol hamaisim. Right? Yeah, if not for that day where I decided to learn, harei harbe anashim yesh b'shuk sheshmon Yosef, ma beni leveinam. Then what's the difference between me and the other Joe in the marketplace? You want to be a big person. Who doesn't want to be a big person? Who doesn't want to feel like I'm not meshubad to what I happen to feel like in the moment? Like I can actually live my life the way I want to, right? Like if I decide something's important, I can do it, and I don't have to feel like I'm too tired. I don't feel like it. Like who doesn't want to live that way? Everyone wants to live that way. You want to live that way, got to learn a lot of Torah, right? Because Torah is megadalto umramamto akol hamaisim. And we have Shavuos. We have a time to become Mikabel Torah. It's not just we're celebrating what was a few thousand years ago. It's Ilav Hayoma Shalamadati Torah. It's up to us to be Mikabel Torah ourselves and to learn and to live in line with all of that, with that entire system that Akadosh Baruch Hu gave us to rule over ourselves. Okay, go learn.